hands to the side. So come on over, just sink the hips back, stretch the arms out, and just let the head rest towards the floor. And so you might want to begin to, you could let the elbows rest down if you want initially, and just kind of feel yourself just arrive like this, I guess. You can allow the hips to move back towards the heels as much as possible, maybe even just sort of taking a bit of a side to side sort of shuffling motion to get back as far as feels comfortable. And then for yourself, just maybe take a bigger breath and just kind of maybe sigh out the breath in between you and the mat here. And just maybe one or two more breaths like that. Just kind of feeling yourself land here this morning. And as you do that and just start to maybe notice the body here on the mat, just feeling the place where you are connected to your sticky mat this morning. And start to bring yourself a little bit out of the head maybe and what's happening for you today, and starting to take on more of a feeling tone in the body rather than being in thinking mode. And so just find yourself do that as you feel into the legs, as I said, touching the floor. Maybe then just start to notice your back body just lengthening out. You might like to slowly start to, if they're down touching the floor, start to lift the elbows and maybe get the arms to stretch out a little bit further. Spread the fingers and just feeling the whole palm connect to the floor. And just find yourself here this morning, just setting an intention for your day today. So as you rest here at the beginning of a beautiful 60-minute practice, what is it that you would love yoga to bring for you today so that you can go about your work and your interactions in a way that feels good? A chance to bubble up the quality of being more present, more focused, motivated, compassionate, whatever it might be. Take a moment to find another breath, breathe it in, say those words, make it really clear what it is that your practice is for this morning. And then as you feel ready to, you can slowly start to rise up onto the knees. And then let's go ahead, tuck the toes straight away. You can hover the knees just briefly and then just gently press your hips up and back and find downward facing dog this morning. And you can keep that nice little bend in the knees, which I always like first thing. Keep those fingers spread and imagine again that side to side motion, like you're really lengthening the hips and the sit bones up towards the wall and the ceiling where they meet behind you. Feel if you're crowding the neck and ears with the shoulders, and maybe take a moment to broaden through the upper back and make space and feel how that's just a little bit stronger. And just go ahead and take one breath like that. And you can let that out breath, just slowly let the knees come all the way towards the floor. Let the next in-breath be the beginning of this cat-cow. So take the inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest. As you exhale, stay here, curl the spine, round everything in, look to the belly. Good, keep those toes tucked. Take another inhale here. And then as you exhale, find that downward facing dog again. So with those toes tucked, exhale, strengthen the legs, press the hips up and back. Release the breath. Good, find another inhale. We're going to move between these two poses. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, the knees come towards the earth. Next part of the breath, cat-cow. Inhale, lift the heart and the chin. Lower the belly, exhale, stay here, curl the spine. Good, inhale again. So it's a two-part breath. Second part to this breath, downward facing dog, exhale. Good, maybe starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the down dog, starting to straighten the knees if that feels good. Inhaling here to let the exhale soften the knees down towards the earth. Inhaling the heart. Staying here, round the spine, curl it in. Gaze to the belly, tuck the chin. Let's make this the last one. Find an inhale like this. And then as you exhale, starting to curl, but lifting the knees and sending the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Good. Just find one full breath here. You might like to start to walk the dog out a little if you want to. Maybe 1 or 2 breaths. We're going to give the arms a rest in just a moment. Good, and then as you're ready to go ahead and you can slowly start to lower those knees down towards the earth. Feel yourself just release back. So just take the hands off the floor, come all the way back onto the knees and breathe the arms to the sky as you inhale. So give yourself plenty of space as you exhale. You can go ahead and take the hands down towards the belly. Inhale. So maybe just calling back those intentions for this morning as you do this. Let's go ahead, take 1 more of these breaths. Inhale the arms up. And then as you come all the way to the sky, just hold here for a moment, tuck the palms, but then separate the hands again so that they're about shoulder width. And just take a gentle side bend, just one side, either side's fine. We're going to do both. Come back to center and just kind of start to wake up both side bodies. Good, and then come all the way up. Release the hands to the floor. And we're just simply going to step through this morning and come to the top of the mat. So when you're ready, make your way there. You can just slowly, in a way that feels good to you, just slide the whole body up. And as you come into Tadasana, spread the hands forward, lengthen through the spine, soften down into the feet this morning. And let's take some sun salutes to begin straight up. So sweep the arms all the way to the sky. Good. Take an exhale and fold towards the earth. Find that halfway lift. Inhale. And as you breathe out, exhale, plant the hands down and take one leg back, right leg first actually. And just have this runner's lunge for a moment. Soften the hips down just a little. When you're ready, start to plant the hands more fully and slide the leg to plank. So you could start on the knees or the toes this morning, whatever feels good. Take a breath. Let the exhale lower you down. Hug the elbows to the ribs, coming all the way down here. We'll stay here for a cobra. Breathe in, lift the heart. Good, exhale. And then tucking the toes, find your way back. Downward facing dog, lengthening those hips up and back. Take the feet hip distance apart. Find yourself here for 3 full breaths this morning. Inhale and exhale. And again, you could take that gentle sigh out the lips if that feels good to you. So find that last breath, a nice full inhale. It's like you're breathing from the up from the earth through the palms and up into that upper body. Let that breath travel into those shoulders. And then as you're ready to, we'll go ahead and take the big toes, touch them together, float that right leg to the sky. And just using that for momentum, let that right leg lift and then step it through to the hands. And then let the left leg follow. Lift halfway, breathe in. Breathe out, exhale. Soften those knees and rise. Inhale all the way up. Come to stand, touch the palms, exhale. So let's go second side, starting to feel strong. We've got 3 of these in a row. When you're ready, breathe in. Good, exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Come all the way, let the gaze look between the legs, lift halfway, breathe in. And then breathe out, exhale, plant the hands, left leg this time, send it all the way back. And just starting to open up through the fronts of the thighs, just soften the hips down, plant the hands when you're ready, take an inhale, slide the leg to plank. Good, exhale, lower to the earth. Good, stay here, slide the forearms through, come to a Sphinx pose. And just fold for a moment, spread the fingers, have a sense of pressing down through the palms, reach the heart forward. And as you do, let the hands kind of draw back like you're pulling the mat towards you. Stay here if you want a little more. Press through the palms just lightly, a little soft bend in the elbows. And then lower down, exhale, chest all the way towards the earth, tuck the toes, rise, breathe in, plank. Breathe out, downward facing dog, lengthening the hips up and back. You're here for 3 breaths again. Can you find those breaths? Just breathing again, letting that inhale rise up from the earth into the body, broaden the shoulders. Send the hips up towards the wall behind you. And as you take this last breath, feeling this awareness of the hands, the feet, and the tops of the hips all at the same time, these 3 points of this pose. And then setting yourself up to take that left leg. So when you're ready, let it float to the sky. Breathe in. As you breathe out, look to where you want it to go, plant it down, and then send the right leg forward with it. Take a lift of halfway, breathe in. And as you breathe out, lower down here, soften the knees, sweep the arms wide, come all the way to stand. Feeling that little bit of energy starting to move through the body now. Let's go ahead straight into the third one. Little variation here. So take the arms, inhale. So take the gaze all the way up. This time, let the exhale find you a little back bend. So just flirting with this gentle back extension. Take the gaze up. Press down through the feet, lift through the ribs. Good. As you're ready to peel the body down. Peel the arms open, float the body down, come all the way forward, fold. Find a halfway lift here again, inhale. So feeling length from the top of the head to the tailbone, exhale and lower. And as you come into this forward fold, just hold here for a moment. So just allow yourself to just start to soften through the neck just a little. Nodding yes, maybe shaking the head no. Maybe soft bend in the knees here. And having a sense of just kind of giving over to gravity here. So the legs are strong, toes are spread, 4 corners of the feet connected. But just feeling maybe just a little bit lighter through the upper body. Find one more breath here. Good, and as you release that breath out, let the hands come to the earth if they're not already. And then go ahead, either leg is fine to lead this time. Step both legs to plank. So as you inhale, slide them back, knees or toes, maybe starting to warm up. Draw the shoulders just a little over the wrists here. Come onto the very tiptoes. Engage through that belly. Find another breath. As you exhale, lower all the way down towards the earth. Release the toes, rise, cobra. Take it all the way as far as feels good, keeping a little bend in the elbows. Lower down, exhale. So here we go, tuck the toes. Start to vary it from here, releasing back into downward facing dog. So get yourself really comfy, maybe just taking a moment to make whatever movements feel good to you. A couple of calf stretches here. And then as you're ready to, we're going to go ahead, take those big toes together. We're going to begin with the right leg again. So sweep that right leg to the sky. Inhale it up. Good, we're going to pulse here. So take that nose and knee towards each other. Tiger curl in, round through the spine. Take another inhale. Leg extends to the sky. Exhale, just a second one of those. Tuck it all in. Good, when you're ready, float it to the sky, final time. And then step that right leg all the way through to the hands. And here's that runner's lunge again. This time, let that back knee soften down. Breathe the arms up, inhale. So just going to move with breath here initially. Exhale, take the hands down towards the earth here. Keeping that back toe tucked. Start to lift again, but start to let the hips come a little higher. Moving towards a bit of a pyramid pose here. Take the blocks, one either side. Find a level maybe that feels good to you. And then notice how you can start to draw that front knee back just a little, let the hip come with it. And maybe feeling like you're sort of in a bit of a halfway lift, and that's okay. If you want to take it deeper, allow the exhale to invite you to fold a little over that thigh, looking back towards the knee perhaps. Finding just another couple of breaths like this. Breathing in, breathing out, and just being aware of the breath in this moment. Noticing those sensations, letting them be an anchor for you. Just go ahead and take one more breath. Good. Breathe that breath out, and as you do, let that knee soften down. Front knee bends, back knee comes all the way down to the earth. Let the arms extend up again, finding a nice full breath. Let that breath begin at the belly and come all the way up towards the hands so that the whole front body opens. You could even take the palms, flip them up, and have one of those beautiful morning stretches. And again, just playing with that gentle crescent lunge, little back bend, if that feels good. And then releasing all of that down towards the earth. Take the front leg, send it back. Find your plank inhale. Lower down, exhale. So feel free, move with breath here. Rise up into the cobra. Feeling nice and warm. Exhale. And just make your way back, downward facing dog in a way that feels good to you. Rolling the hips up and back. Lengthening through the spine. Can you find 2 breaths like this? Inhale. And just exhale with ease, and find another one of those breaths just like that. And then as you're ready to, go ahead and just drop the knees down towards the earth. And let's take thread the needle pose here. So bring the left hand into the center of the mat and just float up the right arm to the sky. And as you do, just gazing up towards the fingers, exhale, and just thread that hand all the way through, coming onto the shoulder. We'll be here briefly. Just an opportunity to open the body in this twist. And keeping that left arm there, maybe in that right angle shape. And as you're ready to, just slowly unwinding, coming all the way up when it feels good to do so. Let's move straight into the other side, stretching out through the other shoulder. Take that right hand to the middle, breathe up the left arm. Good, and then slowly threading it through, coming to rest on that shoulder. And again, just here briefly, just allowing yourself to feel that twist. You might even want to, for this side, maybe if you want to wrap that right hand around your lower back. If that feels good, just for 1 or 2 more breaths. And as you're ready to, slowly bringing the hand down, unthreading the needle, coming back to hands and knees. When you're ready, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Let's get ready to take the other side, lengthening the hips up and back, feeling good in the legs. Now hopefully the upper body on board, that nice, beautiful, gentle twist. Let's go ahead when you're ready to take that left leg to the sky. We've got 2 of these tiger curls. When you're ready, exhale. Bring it through to the nose, round through the spine. Engage the belly, draw the shoulders over the wrists, and inhale again, lengthen. Open the body with that expansive breath. Exhale, curl in. Good, find 1 more of those. Breathe that leg to the sky, open the front of the thigh, and then send it through to the hands when you're ready. Good. Lower down that knee here. Find just one of these beautiful breaths. Open the body. Inhale. And then as you breathe out, exhale, take those hands to the block. Tucking that back toe, lift through the knee here. So you start in that runner's lunge and then slowly start to feel that sense of drawing the knee and the hip back. So keep that soft micro bend in the knee, feels good, protect it. Lifting through the hips, you could come high on those back toes. And feel free to stay in this kind of halfway lift here. You might feel the spine's kind of long. Or you could take it deeper, start to melt the heart over the thigh, nose and knee move towards each other, look back at the leg. If the leg's kind of wobbling and shaking, you could bend the knee a little more, maybe just edge off slightly. Well, let's hold here a couple more breaths. And this is when we start to really feel our practice can really do so many good things for us. When we want to come out of the pose, when we want it to finish, that's when we have to be a little more patient, breathe a little more deeply. And this is the stuff that's really good in our day. The stuff that reminds us when you're ready to, you can start to just soften into that knee. All we're going to do is simply step forward to the front of that mat. And as you do, find a lift halfway, inhale. So you can even use the blocks, keep them here. As you exhale, lower down. Allow yourself to touch the left block at the left toes, or fingertips can just come in front of the left foot here and bend into that left knee as you extend the right arm to the sky. And as you do, look up to those fingertips. Have a sense of the right hip, like we just did in that pose, drawing back, the right knee drawing back, right hip follows. Good, as you're ready, let that hand come down. Simply switch it over, bend into the right knee. Feel the left hip and knee straighten and draw backwards rather than kind of out to the side, and extend the arm up. Feeling that beautiful straight line from the bottom fingers to the top. As you're ready, breathe out that hand. Breathe down that hand, I should say. Bring both hands onto the shins and just spinal roll up. Just kind of paint the legs with the brushes, the fingertips as brushes, rising all the way up. Roll the shoulders back. Experience Tadasana here for a moment. Just give yourself just a couple of breaths like this. You might want to close the eyes and maybe just find a soft stare to the floor. And just take a moment to just feel the effects of that little bit of the practice in the body. Sometimes it's nice to just bring in this, we call it dynamic stillness. So there's a sense that even though the outer body is still, there's this feeling of movement, energy, life, breath, all of those things within. And so the inner body is alive, the outer body is still, and that's that beautiful contrast we get in yoga. And just a moment to recognize the beautiful, I guess, benefits of our practice. All the little subtle shifts and the subtleties within our body that yoga kind of brings and bubbles to the surface. So go ahead, when you're ready to, we're going to open the eyes. Let's flow through this next part of the sequence. Take the arms, breathe them in. So like we did earlier, touch the palms together, breathe out, take this little back bend, look to the sky, lift through the ribs here, really engage the legs. And then let the exhale swan dive you all the way down. Come all the way forward fold, noticing the fold, noticing the legs. Find a halfway lift, breathe in. And then breathe out, lower down. Plant both hands here. Send back the right leg again. And then as you do, just drop down that right knee like we did before. Really similar, a little variation. Breathe up the arms. Good, breathe out, exhale. Tucking that back toe. Lift through that back knee, just briefly pyramid, draw the hips back. It's almost like just kind of pulsing through this. And then we're going to soften into that knee and we're going to start to edge forward. So coming into warrior three, start to shuffle that weight. So you've got blocks there if you want them. Place your hands to the blocks, lift up through that back leg. And as you lift through the back leg, get a sense for the inner seam of your thigh, lifting up into the midline of the body. Good. Allow the heel to find the edge of the room, the window side of the room. So sort of turning the heel to the outer edge of your mat. Good. Find one more breath. That turning the heel out kind of drops that hip down a little to even it up. Good. And then as you're ready to, you're simply going to just bring that foot to meet the other foot. Find a lift halfway. Lower down, exhale. Soften the knees, sweep the arms up, breathe in, coming all the way. Good, breathe out, find that little back bend. Exhale, come down, second side. Forward fold to the earth. Inhale, rise. Exhale, melt down, plant the hands. This time, send the left leg back. And as you do, drop down that knee. Let the arms extend. Good, exhale, the hands to the earth or to your block here. Lift through that back knee. Send the hips back, briefly pulsing. Finding more length through those hamstrings. Start to soften into that front knee. And as you do, starting to shift the weight forward. Find your block. Extend that leg up. Good. This time again, the inner seam of the pant into the middle, the heel edging towards the outer edge of your mat, squaring up through the hips. If you want a little more this side, maybe you could release the blocks and extend the wings back if that feels good. It can be wobbly coming from this angle. As you're ready to, go ahead and just plant that foot to meet the other foot. We'll heel toe the feet really wide. Take the edges of your feet all the way to the edges of your mat. Slide the body up to stand. Find a full breath. Inhale the arms up. Good. Exhale. Hands into the heart. We're actually going to come into a squat now. So just take yourself down in a way that feels good and coming into Malasana. So you could have heels down or heels up, whatever feels good. And just allow yourself to open through the knees just a little. Using the elbows. And then extend that left hand down to the floor. And float the right arm towards the fingers. And then allow it to just simply switch over, taking that elbow in towards the knee. Extend the arm. Good, and as you bring it all the way down again, you can start to slowly lift. Just sort of stay in this forward fold, heel toe the feet in. And we're going to move through one more vinyasa here. So when you're ready to, just slowly stepping back into plank. You could be knees or toes towards the end of the class. Doing what feels good in the body again. Lower down as you breathe out. Let yourself just open up, using the breath, moving through slowly as you're ready to downward facing dog. Good, and just holding here. And just a couple of those breaths like this. Breathing in, we're going to move towards a pigeon pose now. So when you're ready to, we can take the right leg to begin, float the right leg to the sky. And then just send that knee through to come behind the right wrist here. Lengthen the leg back. Feel yourself inhale to begin. And then as you breathe out, you can just start to lower down, maybe onto the forearms, maybe finding a little pillow for the head using your block. Softening the body down. Feeling, again, feeling the anchor of those sensations in the body. And just having this really, even though the body's still, even though the breath's a little restricted maybe by that leg, just keeping that feeling of a expansive inhale to kind of shift some of that stuck energy in the hips that we get. Find 2 more breaths like this. And as you're ready to, you can start to slowly come on up. And as you come up, we're going to bring this front leg, right leg back into down dog. So you can come to the knees first if you want to, or you can slide straight back to a downward facing dog. And we're going to go ahead and take the opposite leg, the left leg, but we're not coming into pigeon just yet. So it's a different leg. Take the left leg to the sky, breathe it in. As you breathe out, send that left leg through to the hands. So like a lunge, we're going to drop down through that right heel. We're going to windmill the arms all the way up. So facing the windows in the room here, we're going to exhale and just find warrior 2 here. So a little more steady, slightly longer holds, looking down that middle finger here of the front hand. Allowing the arms to be strong, but to soften down away from the ears here. You can go ahead and turn that front palm and find reverse warrior now. Breathe in, lengthening back. Notice if you've lifted slightly, could you lower into the lunge just a little bit more? When you're ready to, start to straighten into that front knee. And again, take that windmill of the arms around the other way. So either one hand to the shin, or you might even like to bring fingertips to the inner arch of the foot. And then go ahead and extend the top arm straight up the shoulder. And what if you could imagine you had a wall behind you? So allow the hips to kind of move forward slightly as the shoulder moves back onto the wall, and feel yourself kind of pasted against the brick wall behind you. Take 1 more breath. Good, and as you're ready, lower that hand all the way down towards the floor. We're going to turn to the side of the room. So walk your hands through, coming to a forward fold here. You can bring the toes slightly in and the heels out. Feel yourself inhale, maybe finding that length through the spine, that halfway lift. And then as you breathe out, just melt the body down into this fold. You can look the gaze between the legs. Maybe the hands come to the floor. Maybe they feel good on the ankles. Or what if you could just find a couple of those sigh out breaths, letting the exhale just be an opportunity to breathe out some of that kind of smokiness or any darkness left in the body, so we can be lighter and freer. Maybe 2 or 3 more breaths like this. Letting the beautiful downward energy of the body here give over to the earth. When you're ready to, we'll start to slowly lift a little and just simply walk your hands back towards that front foot. And then go ahead and just slide that foot back into plank when you're ready, or into down dog, I should say. And then yogi choice here, if you want to take a child's pose, you could. If you want to move through the vinyasa before we take that second side, you could feel free to do that. Or you could simply hold the down dog. So again, tapping into the feeling body. Notice what you need, what feels good, what needs to move a little more, and just allow yourself to take yourself back into beautiful downward facing dog when you're ready. And here we go to get to the other side. We're going to start with that pigeon pose now. So this time is left leg again. When you're ready, send that left leg to the sky. Good, and then exhale, bring it all the way through, knee behind the wrist, lengthening through the back. You can use the breath, maybe even if you come down early, find one of those inhales. And then you can let the exhale just be another opportunity to, even if you're physically as low as you want to go, that exhale to just soften right into the pose. Some of that holding on in the inner body, just letting all of that go. Anchoring on the sensations here as we get towards the end of the class, we can always start to feel like our mind's already gone. So what can you feel in your body here that can hold you in this moment? So maybe another 2 or 3 more breaths like this. Any time from now, you can start to slowly rise, making your way back. We're almost there. We've got one more side to do. So as you slide the leg back into either the knees or straight to a down dog, what if you could just take one more really beautiful, energizing breath here? Bring back a time in your body where you felt really, really good. What if you could allow your body to feel that now as you move through this last little bit, like it was the beginning of your practice with this kind of renewed commitment. So when you're ready, take this time the right leg and breathe it to the sky. Inhale. And then as you breathe out, send the right leg through to the hands. Good. Let the heel drop down. Feel the whole body cartwheel up, facing the wall side of this room. And then soften into this lunge here. So just noticing those back toes, they're slightly turned in. Allow that hip, knee, and ankle and toes to kind of be in that same direction. Find that point of focus down that middle finger. Extend the arms, soften the shoulders. Broad across the collar. Whole front body open and receptive today. Let's turn that palm inhale. And as you do, lengthen. Open through the front. Ribs open like those louver windows, letting all of that fresh air in. When you're ready, straighten the leg, inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the arms into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Look to the fingertips. Remember that wall behind you. Send the pelvis forward a little, shoulder draws back. Be open here. Take one more breath. Good, and as you breathe out, lower that hand down. We're going to stay here. We're simply going to just square off, drop the knee down, send the other knee back. Come into child's pose here to finish off just how we began before we come all the way down onto the floor. So sinking everything back, lengthening out. You might like to rest the hands under the forehead. And if not, just simply let the elbows drop towards the earth. The shoulders can soften down. You might even want to wrap the arms all the way towards the feet. And just noticing those breaths can start to find that more natural breath rather than those bigger energizing inhales we began the class with. We'll just rest here for maybe just another 5 breaths. Once you're ready to, you can just begin to slowly come on up. You can sweep the legs around and just come to sit, maybe taking your feet out into a bit of a diamond shape initially. We'll just take one more little fold before we get really still. So you could take the hands onto the outer knees and just maybe just move a little bit through some of these sort of seated cat-cows initially. So just allowing yourself to let the inhale lengthen the spine, maybe lifting a little through the heart here. And then as you're breathing out, just kind of rounding, tucking the chin, drawing back. So just rocking the hips kind of forward and back as you do that. And then just changing it up slightly. Find the next inhale, so get tall, and then let the next exhale send you forward instead. So allowing yourself to float down and hold here. So if you want more of a kind of butterfly stretch, but Baddha you can draw the feet right in. Otherwise, you can sort of keep this diamond shape where your legs are stretched out just a little further, but maybe holding the toes or ankles, melting down through the middle of the chest, maybe closing the eyes. Just holding for just another couple of breaths like this. We can start to slowly come on up. We'll just finish with a nice little twist. So bring the legs into cross if that feels good. And just taking one hand to the knee, one hand behind. Get really tall here. So feel yourself lift up out of the sit bones and just turn to gaze over that shoulder. And then as you float the gaze back, keep the hand on the knee, take the hand from behind and just find a nice opening here. So as you let the knee press into the hand, as well as the hand kind of grabbing on so that you can get good length there, and then just float that hand to this knee here. Draw the knees towards each other, tuck the chin, open through the middle back. Good, and then switching sides, so allowing that left hand to stay, bringing the right hand through, get tall here, turn to gaze over that shoulder. Keeping the breath moving, even through the twists. And then final stretch, letting the gaze come back, but just letting this hand from behind reach over. And just like a side stretch, look up beyond, keep pressing the knee down. Good, and then floating all the way up, resting it down and just getting ready now to come to sit in stillness. Hopefully our bodies Feel good to do that. If you want to prop your hips, feel free to. And then just get comfy. Don't feel like in this 15 minutes either that you ever have to be completely still. If the legs start to get tingly or pins and needles, just stretch them out. Rest your hands where they feel good. Close your eyes down. And just allow yourself, like we did earlier when we were on our feet, just this moment of dynamic stillness, which always follows movement. The outer body gets still, the inner body has been really woken up. But I wonder if you could imagine that in the practice, we were kind of shaking up the snow globe and the glitter was kind of going everywhere. And now we're coming to sit, and some of that glitter now is being allowed to just settle. And maybe already has started to, if you're thinking about the mind, and just having this sense of being still and all of that glitter in the snow globe just slowly resting to the bottom. What's left above that is that really beautiful clear water. And as you feel yourself sit here in this stillness, get a sense for that beautiful clear and clarity that exists in the body after a beautiful practice. And within the space of that, just let yourself begin to notice your breathing. And don't change it or try and make it bigger or deeper. What if you could just notice the breath in the belly and just notice how it really naturally and easily kind of swells up the front of the body up towards the heart and chest. And how it then just kind of moves back down as you breathe out. And so see if you can just notice from a distance as the observer, the body breathing, and there's just this sense of the breath kind of swelling up and into the upper chest. And maybe you can start to allow yourself to kind of make those breaths just a little bit bigger, just to settle the last of any kind of stormy energy in the body. So maybe let's go for maybe 3 kind of bigger breaths from the belly up into the heart space or into the chest. This feeling of it beginning in the belly, this initiating the breath in the belly, swelling up into the upper body and back down. Just 3 of these. And then letting that 3rd breath go and just releasing those big breaths again and just coming back into a nice easy breath. And as you observe and watch the breath in the belly, maybe allowing yourself to step back a little bit. It can be really hard to not do the breath. What if you could just notice the body breathing in and breathing out? The body being breathed. In this mindfulness meditation, your ability to be able to focus on one thing at a time is the practice of mindfulness, but it's also the outcome. So as you feel yourself get distracted away from the breath, all you need to do is notice that you've been distracted and then just simply guide yourself back to watching the body breathe again. You might like to in a moment, just allow yourself to release watching that breath and start to let your awareness just for a moment open out away from it slightly. Noticing the body and the sounds. You might still be able to notice the breath, and that's okay. Just allow your awareness to open out and release that really sharp focus. Taking in the moment as it is. And as you slowly now guide yourself just one more time back to that breath. Focusing on the breath moving in the belly in that natural way. But maybe adding this time a count. So allowing yourself to just breathe in silence. And then as you breathe out, just saying in your mind the number 1. And then just continuing that to the number 5 and then beginning again. If you get distracted, just come back to the numbers. If you lose your place, just start again at 1. Just breathing in silence and then breathing out the number. And even though you are focused on the breath, and the number is another opportunity to maintain that focus, you have this slightest awareness of the other things happening around and outside of the breath, the body, the sounds, the feelings on the skin of your clothes and the air. So while you're maintaining focus, you have also this slight ability to be aware, to have an open awareness at the same time. So go ahead now and let the counting go. Allow the awareness to fully soften and open right out. Drink in this moment. Start to, as you simply rest and sit here, start to get a feeling or a sense that there's really nothing to do in this part of the meditation, but simply to experience. What is happening right now? The breath, the body, the space around you. All of those experiences wrapped up in one moment. And just a sense of you being present in it. You can allow yourself maybe just to let a really slight smile come to your lips. As in this moment, before we go about the rest of our day, if you could bring to your mind maybe 3 things that are going really well for you right now. 3 things in your life that are going really well for you right now. Maybe why they are important to you. As you name those 3 things that are going really well for you, allow yourself to bring them really fully into your mind. And what if you could let your body experience or recognize the joy that they bring you, and start to just kind of shift your posture so that your body starts to take on the shape of how much these 3 great things in your life mean to you. And start to lengthen up and open out and start to feel like these things we're really grateful for. Present in our body as we move about our day today. We can start to let some of that shine out in our interactions, in how we talk and how we work today. And so go ahead and allow your hands to come to your heart. Feel all that goodness in your body from your practice, from your focus in meditation, and now from your gratitude. Thank you all for a beautiful practice this morning. Namaste. Have a great day.